So call me crazy, but I just ranked every single influencer boxer pound for pound, male or female. I ranked them all. So before I get into this list, I'm gonna go over a few things because I know some people might have some questions when they see some people not on this list, and I'm gonna answer them right now for you. If you have any other questions, just put them down in the comments, but I think I'll answer some of them for you here. So this list is based on my opinion, of course. It includes fighters from Misfits, Kingpin, Creator Clash, and the Social Gloves. Fighters that have fought influencers or have fought on influencer cards are not included in this list, such as Idris Virgo, Chris Avila, Hasim Rahman, guys like Tommy Fury, guys like that. And this list also does not include fighters who I think will not be fighting again. So just because Billy Joe fought one time on this card years ago, I'm not putting him on this list. If I don't think he's going to be fighting again, he's not going to be on the list. So the criteria for my ranking, this is going to be based on the opponents they fought, their skill level, based on their experience or the numbers of fights that they've had, based on their fighting skills, with some exceptions. Some fighters are going to be ranked a little higher due to entertainment value because maybe they have less fights. But the higher you go, the more experienced the fighters are, the more it's going to be based on their skills. But this is the most important criteria. It's going to be mostly based off of their last performance. Their last performance, as they say, your last performance is your best performance. So that's going to be my number one thing looking at these fighters and ranking them pound for pound. And I'm going to try to run through these pretty quickly. I'll get to explaining much more on my thought process when I get higher in the list. But lower in the list, I think the thought process between this is pretty self-explanatory with the rankings. So I'll just run through them really quickly at the bottom. And as I get to the top, the more I'll get to explaining why I put guys in certain areas. So, all right, are you guys ready? Let's get into this. So at rank number 66, we got Wings of Redemption. Probably going to have a really hard time finding opponents. So that's why he's last. Rank number 65, Ice Poseidon. His fights speak for themselves. Number 64, you could switch Ice Poseidon, this guy. You could put him either rank you want, but 64 is definitely going to be Churdleys. Number 63, Daniela Hemsley. She fought on the Kingpin card. Didn't really do much. Similar to number 62 ranked Amber O'Donnell. Didn't really do much, but looking to see these rankings possibly change in the second round if these girls look much better. Another loser for the Kingpin tournament, Whitney Johns. Got dominated in her fight, got dropped. Didn't look too good, but showed really, really good toughness. And then, of course, number 60, Miss Danielka. She fought the toughest fight that I thought of the tournament so far. She fought Elbrook. She didn't do that bad. She held her own. She looked pretty well. So that's why she's ranked above the other losers from the girls' side of the Kingpin tournament. Ranked number 59, we got Korn. Right after him, we got Unber. Very, very close fight between the two. Very good fight. Number 57, we got Halal Ham. Very experienced fighter, but not all that entertaining and does have a good amount of losses under his belt. Above that is where I ranked someone who purely entertainment value, very entertaining fighter, maybe not all that skillful, but you know, he's in this for the entertainment. He's not in this to show pure boxing technique, but I have Dad. Dad fights on Creator Clash. He puts on some really good fights, really entertaining fighter. Really looking forward to watch him again. At rank number 55, we got DK Money. He's been knocked out a couple of times. He's struggling. He did really good against Virus, so that's why I have him a little bit above all these other people. But DK Money, unfortunately, falls at 55. 54, we got Ryan Taylor. Ryan Taylor put up a good fight against Slim. This is why I have Ryan Taylor above DK Money. He put up a really good fight against Slim. Really showed his toughness. He did get KO'd by Swarms, but DK Money has been KO'd twice. So that's why Ryan Taylor is above DK Money. Above Ryan Taylor at number 53, we got Chase Demore. Chase Demore does look terrible, but he had a pretty sweet knockout. Unfortunately, he had to end it with the ground and pound and get DQ'd, but he showed that he's got some power. So looking forward to see him fight again if they let him fight again. At number 52, we got Luis Nestor. Luis Nestor, he came in super overhyped by Keemstar. Unfortunately, he didn't live up to hype, which is why he's ranked so low. At 51, we got Kimchi. Kimchi did disappoint a little bit in her fight, but I look forward to seeing her again, seeing her prove herself. She was very entertaining in the lead up, so we always like that. At number 50, we got Tennessee Thresh. Tennessee Thresh put up a really good fight against Paige Keiki, but she came up just short, and I did give that fight to Paige Keiki, so Tennessee Thresh lands at number 50. At number 49, we got Belzy. Belzy dominated Kimchi, won almost every round, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. That's why Belzy falls on 49. 48, we got Paige Keiki. At number 47, we got AJ Bunker. Very good fight with Astrid Wet. Almost beat Astrid Wet. Almost became champion of Misfits. At 46, we got Emily Brooke. Emily Brooke won the first round of the Kingpin tournament. On to the next one, sister of Elle Brooke. Would like to see her and Elle Brooke win to see if they fight in the final. At number 45, we got Barbie. Very tall, very lanky fighter. Showed really good power. Dropped Whitney Johns. And she didn't look bad. I really liked how Barbie looked. Would like to see her stay behind her jab a little bit more though. At number 44, we got Bryce Hall. Bryce Hall, very inactive, which is why he's so low on this list. His only fight with Austin McBroom, which unfortunately he did get dominated in that fight. Number 43, we got Filipek. Filipek, unfortunately, had the fight Whindersson Nunes, so he didn't really get to show the skills that he could have. However, I have him above Bryce Hall because Filipek, what he did show was more than what Bryce Hall showed, in my opinion. At number 42, my mate Nate. My mate Nate, similar situation. Got to show a little bit more than what Filipek showed. My mate Nate did look like a slick boxer in there until getting hurt by King Kenny. After my mate Nate, we got Minicon. Very experienced fighter. He's got a good amount of fights now. They are, unfortunately, a little bit boring, which is why he's so low on this list. He should be higher due to his experience, but his fights aren't all that entertaining. At number 40, we got Ryan Johnston. Ryan Johnston, I put him a little bit higher on this list than I would have originally liked to, but looking back on that fight, he did look pretty good. I did have to put him above a lot of these guys because I just think that Ryan Johnston would beat some of these guys. So, and I look forward to seeing how he comes out looking now, see his improvements. At number 39, we got Taylor Holder. Taylor Holder, technique-wise, he would be much higher on this list, but similar to other fighters, we didn't get to see much because he was so gun-shy. So, Taylor Holder could work his way back up. Above Taylor Holder, I do got Swarms. Swarms, not all that good technically. I know he's a very, very fan favorite fighter, but not all that good technically. I would love to see Swarms fight someone on that lower level to get him some more wins under his belt, give him some more confidence in there. Above Swarms, I got Brandon Buckingham. Brandon Buckingham took out Ice Poseidon, which Ice Poseidon isn't the best opponent, which is why Brandon Buckingham is so low, but he did look good in that fight. Above him, I got Yudi Gang. Yudi Gang looked slick in that fight against Uncle Pizza. Looked really well, did better than I thought he would do. Next at 35, I got Julie Polka. Julie Polka looked really well. She would be higher on this list if she did not gas out. Unfortunately, she gassed out way too early in her fight, but she won very, very dominantly. I was very impressed with how Julie Polka looked. Next, we got Andrea Botez. Andrea Botez, very young, looked very well in her fight. And right above her, I got number 33, Michelle Kare. Michelle Kare looked also very well. Both of these girls, they put on such a great fight, such a close fight. I was really impressed with how both of these girls looked, which is why they're both so high. With Michelle Kare being ranked just above because she won the fight. At number 32, we got Uncle Pizza. I was very surprised with how well he looked, considering his name. Then at number 31, we got Myth. Myth had a really, really nice KO. I really liked how he looked going into that fight. And I look forward to seeing him fight again. At number 30, we got Tom Zanetti. He would be higher on this list, but unfortunately, he had to quit his last bout. So I had to rank him a little bit lower due to that. But very, very entertaining fighter. Love to watch him fight. At next, number 29, we got JMX. Very experienced fighter. Fought Le'Veon Bell his last outing. Looked decent. Unfortunately, gassed out. At number 28, we got B-Dave. B-Dave fought Luis Pineda. Came out there. He looked well. Looked really good in the tag team tournament. Unfortunately, their opponents didn't look all that well. But I got B-Dave above some of these guys because he just looks technically better than some of these guys. Next at number 27, I got Josh Bruckner. Josh Bruckner, another pretty experienced fighter. I got him this low on the list because he also, in my opinion, quit against Salt Poppy in a fight that he could have continued. He could have fought through. At number 26, I got iDubbbz. iDubbbz, a couple fights in, Very good fights. Very close one on that first one. Unfortunately, the Alex Wasabi wasn't very close, but he did well against Dr. Mike, and his technique isn't all that bad. At number 25, I got Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike looked really good against iDubbbz. Not so good against Chris Avila. So that's why Dr. Mike is this low on the list. Next at 24, we got Virus. Virus was really struggling with DK Money, but he pulled it out, gets the KO, a very exciting fight, which is why I have him where I have him on the list. Next up at 23, I got FaZe Temper because he's got that sweet KO over flow. So I had to put FaZe Temper over Virus. Those two could switch, but I would put Temper over Virus because he's the more experienced. He's fought the better competition. Next at 22, some of you might not like this, but I got Luis Pineda. Pineda, he just hasn't really fought. The only fighters he's fought is KSI. He fought in the tag team match. He fought B-Dave. Pineda looks good. He looks like he's on the rise. He could climb up these rankings very quickly. But as I read off the other names, you'll see why Pineda is at 22. At 21, I got Nick Lamau. A great fight put on against Jay Swingler. Very close fight. Back and forth. Could have gone either way. An amazing fight, which is why I have him so high on this list. Number 20, I had to put Astrid Wet. Astrid Wet, a Misfits champion, puts on very entertaining fights. Although she might not be the most technical fighter, she puts on very amazing fights and she gets the job done and gets the win. At number 19, I got Ashley Raksu. He would have been ranked much lower on this list, but he pulls out the huge upset against King Kenny. So he ranks much higher on this list now. At number 18, I got Blueface. Blueface looked really good in that last fight against Ed Matthews, showed really good head movement. He does unfortunately get caught due to his head movement. He relies on his head movement a little bit too much with letting his hands down. He does get caught. So I think some of these other guys in Misfits could catch him clean and could hurt him. At number 17, we got Deji. Deji, unfortunately, those losses early in his fighting career are holding him back, but he looks really good. He's definitely on the rise. And I look forward to see him fighting. And if he continues to win, he'll definitely march his way up these rankings for sure. At number 16, I got Austin McBroom. I got Austin McBroom over Deji because Austin's just fought the better competition. He's fought Gib twice. Unfortunately, he lost to Gib twice, but they were competitive fights when Austin was in the fight. The first 1-2 rounds, but Austin McBroom did well. So that's why I got Austin above Deji, and Austin ranked at number 16. At number 15, I got Elbrook. Elbrook being the highest ranked female fighter on my pound for pound rankings list. Elbrook looks really good in her fights. She goes in there, dominates these girls, puts that power on them, puts that pace on them. Elbrook looks really good, and I can't wait to see her in this next round of the Kingpin tournament. At number 14, we got Jay Swingler. Very good, very entertaining fighter. Look forward to seeing him again. I know he's dealing with some injuries and stuff, so I'm not sure when he'll be back, but look forward to seeing him again. At number 13, we got Alex Wasabi. Alex Wasabi looked really good in his last fight. In that Deji fight, I was a little skeptical, but after that last fight with iDubbbz, Alex Wasabi looked really good, and I look forward to the rematch. I would like to see Alex fight Deji again. I look forward to it. I hope they rematch. At number 12, I got Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell with a nice knockout over Adrian Peterson. Dominates JMX. Very good fight. Very good technique. Le'Veon Bell, I would like to see him fight a little bit better competition now. I would like to see his next opponent, see who he goes up against next. But so right now, Le'Veon Bell sits at number 12. Next up at number 11, I got Jarvis. His first fight, a nice KO, was a brawl. Second fight, struggled against Tom Zanetti, but gets the win in the end due to those nasty body strikes. Jarvis is not afraid of a fight. He's not afraid to bite on that mouthpiece and go toe-to-toe with you, which is why I have him at ranked 11. Unfortunately, he is fighting people much bigger than him, which might set him back in this pound for pound list if he does lose to these guys. And here we go, my top 10 pound for pound influencer boxers. At number 10, I got King Kenny. King Kenny unfortunately losing to Ashley Raksu, or else he would be ranked much higher on this list. And with those two first controversial fights against FaZe Temper and against FaZe Sensei, very controversial wins. In my opinion, he lost both of those fights. And then him going in and losing to Ashley Raksu, he has a good knockout against DK Money, really good knockout against my mate Nate. And he looks really good technique-wise. He utilizes his weapons well, But unfortunately, everyone above him on this list, I think, has shown slightly more than he has. Number 9, we got Wally Sharks. Wally Sharks was dominating that fight against Dean the Great, and he got caught. Wally just needs to be more on his P's and Q's, stay focused, work on that defense. Don't get caught again. He was dominating that fight. And then right above him, of course, I got Dean the Great. Dean the Great would be also ranked much higher on this list, but he was getting dominated by Waleed. He pulled out that overhand right, knocked him out. He got the job done, but the problem is that he struggled, which unfortunately put him down on this list. At number 7, I got Slim. Slim would also be ranked higher on this list, but he has struggled these last fights and he hasn't fought in a while. So that's why I got Slim ranked number 7. Would like to see him fight again. I can't wait to see him fight again. I wonder who they're going to put him up against. Would love to see him fight Blueface. At number 6, who I originally had at number 3, we got Salt Papi. Unfortunately, he loses to Anthony Taylor, so it drops him down a little bit. But coming into this next fight, whoever he fights next, look for a show from Salt Papi, and I guarantee he'll be back up in this rankings soon. At number 5, I got Whindersson Nunes. Whindersson Nunes looked really good. His technique, he is at rank number 5 purely based on technique alone. He has shown probably some of the best technique of all of influencer boxing that I've seen. He's shown really good head movement. He's shown combinations that other fighters haven't shown. He's shown pretty good footwork, although it does get a little lost in there sometimes. But Whindersson Nunes, he's got the skills to be the best, and that's for sure. I would love to see him fight KSI. He's definitely got the skills to fight KSI, and that fight would be absolutely amazing. Two very, very aggressive fighters. That would be an amazing fight. All right, number 4, I got the pretty boy, Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor coming off of that huge win against Salt Papi. I know maybe some people are saying maybe Anthony Taylor shouldn't be on the list because he's fought professionally. He's fought Tommy Fury, but he's an influencer now, man. The guy entertains. He entertains well. Even from the walkout, he's very entertaining guy. The press conferences, everything. Whenever you hear Anthony Taylor, whenever you see Anthony Taylor, he's putting on a show. He's putting on a character. And I like that he's an influencer now. So Anthony Taylor ranked number 4. Now for my top 3. This is where I'm sure you guys know who the last 3 are. And I'm sure you're very interested to see how I got these last 3 ranked. So at number 3, I got Anis Songib. Anis Songib, very great fighter, has fought well. He just hasn't fought the opposition that we would have liked. And he did lose to Jake Paul. So, of course, I have to have him under Jake Paul. But Gib is coming back. I would love to see him rematch Jake. I would love to see that rematch. I do think Gib can get a win over Jake and force a trilogy fight. And that would be huge. That would make them a ton of money. So hopefully Gib stays on this winning train and he can earn that rematch back. And now for my final 2. I know everybody knows who the final 2 is between. So I am going to name my number 1 pound for pound influencer boxer right now. And I am going to explain why. Because I'm sure a lot of you might disagree. But hear me out on this. And you'll know why I have this person as number 1. So, the number 1, or my number 1, pound for pound influencer boxing right now is KSI. And here's why. This decision was very tough because if I tallied up between him and Jake Paul, of course, is number 2. So, if I was looking at this based on my criteria, the opponent's skill level, Jake Paul 1-ups KSI for sure. Based on experience, they're about even, but maybe Jake Paul edges KSI a little bit, but I would say they are about even. Based purely on their fighting skills and entertainment value, unfortunately, KSI has been the more entertaining fighter to watch. I know that's hard to say, but Jake Paul's fights just haven't been selling. They haven't been as entertaining as he's been leading them up to be. And the one fight that I would note that probably boosted him up a little bit was him knocking out Tyron Woodley. But up until that knockout, it was just another boring Jake Paul fight, unfortunately. And it sucks to say that. I would love to see Jake do better and actually get these knockouts and put on amazing fights, but they just haven't been all that amazing and all that impressive as of yet. Maybe that could change in this next one with Nate Diaz. I think it will. So I look forward to seeing that. But what mainly swayed me for ranking KSI number one is my number one criteria, what mostly influences my rankings, which is based on their last performances. Jake Paul's last performance, he gassed out way too early, got dominated by Tommy Fury. He did not look good. His technique was off. Unfortunately, he looked worse than he did in his other fights. Jake Paul ducking his head a lot, relying on that overhand right a little bit too much. If it weren't for all the weird point deductions and the weird knockdown in the last round where Tommy Fury didn't really get knocked down. He ate a punch, but he tripped, so it was ruled a knockdown. If none of that happened, and it was just scored purely 10-9 rounds, Tommy Fury would have dominated this fight, and it wouldn't have been as close as it looked on the scorecards. And KSI in his last outing looked really, really good against Joe Fournier. Say what you want about Joe Fournier. Say that he paid off fighters to win. Joe Fournier is a professional fighter. Joe Fournier has fought some skilled fighters in there. Joe Fournier has trained with some skilled fighters. And for KSI to look how he looked against him, KSI looked way too quick, way too powerful. And I know KSI KO'd him with the elbow, but Fournier was hurt. The overhand right hurt him bad. If KSI hit him with his fist, Fournier would have been knocked out in the same manner. And there's no doubt about that in my mind. KSI just looked really, really good his last outing. And Jake Paul, unfortunately, fell very, very short in his last outing. Looked really bad in my opinion. KSI keeps looking better and better. Jake Paul looked a little worse, which is why I have to put KSI as number one pound for pound and Jake Paul number two. Like I said though, this could change. KSI seeming like he's fighting Tommy Fury next. Jake Paul's got Nate Diaz. If Jake Paul looks really good against Nate Diaz, takes Nate Diaz out, and KSI gets dominated by Tommy Fury, we could easily see a switch here and Jake Paul regaining that number one pound for pound slot. But for now, I think KSI overtakes him. I got KSI number one pound for pound. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know which people you would have put differently. Who do you think I got wrong? And I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support. Thank you for watching. Please, this took a lot of thought, took a lot of brain power. So do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.